Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youthman. In this video, man, I'm excited to share an updated home theater room tour of my theater. Now, it's been about a year since I've done this, and so a lot of things have changed, and I'm super excited to share with you just all the aspects of my home theater, hopefully to give you some inspiration for your home theater. Now, before we jump into the video, if you're into home theater, audio and video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. All right, guys, well, my home theater has been pretty much a work in progress for about 13 years when we bought our home 13 years ago. And so it started out with a small 103-inch screen, and then it has really just evolved from there. And so I'm super excited to share with you the speakers, the seating, the lighting, pretty much every aspect of this. This will be probably the most detailed home theater tour that I've done on my channel in my home theater. So I'm really excited to share that with you. But before we get into all the details, here's a word from our show sponsor, Klipsch. Over the past 15 years, I have owned over 50 pair of Klipsch speakers, including 3 Klipsch La Scalas in my home theater and a pair of Klipsch RF73s in my 2-channel setup. I absolutely love the clarity, the detail, and the dynamics that Klipsch products offer. Klipsch offers a vast array of speakers and subwoofers for both 2-channel and home theater setups, anywhere from small bookshelf speakers to floor standing speakers and even massive cinema speakers. If space is limited, they also provide quality soundbars, Bluetooth speakers, and high-end over-the-ear headphones. And when you're out and about, you can still enjoy the incredible Klipsch sound from their new T5 True wireless earbuds and the T5 Sport for those of you with active lifestyles. Be sure to visit klipsch.com for all of your audio needs. All right, as we walk through the hallway, the first thing that we are greeted with at the theater room is the theater room sign. And then as we enter, the very first thing that we see is the 150-inch diagonal Seymour Center Stage XD acoustic transparent screen. Now, being acoustic transparent, that allows me to place my speakers directly behind the screen, which I'll show you in just a little bit. So first thing I want to do is kind of tell you the dimensions of my room. My room is 13 feet wide by 19 feet deep with 10-foot ceilings. So you can kind of get an idea of the scale of the front cabinet. So the cabinet extends all the way the width of the room, as well from floor to ceiling. The front cabinet was made from unfinished red oak. And on the sides we have a column that is actually made 100% custom, probably about 96 pieces in this entire column here. Now above the column we have these custom leaves. Now these were hand carved. And then all the way at the top, we have these custom medallions. All around the exterior of the screen, we have this diamond pattern. Each of these doors were custom made, so you can see there's a piece of wood here, piece of wood here, piece of wood here, piece of wood here, and then these little angles right here, that's another piece of wood. So each one of these doors were made custom just for this entertainment center. The same is true for the custom crown molding. That's about 7 inches, I believe, that runs the width of the room. Okay, let's start over at the far right of the cabinet, and I'll walk you through what is inside the cabinet and how I've got everything organized. So in this far right component here, we have just some space for remote controls, maybe PS4 controller. So right now I have these remotes typically are in my theater seating. The new theater seating has space for like a compartment for remotes. So I really don't use this area much more, but I just lay these in here so that you can see how those were organized. Behind this door here, we've got an old school Yamaha receiver. Now this is nothing fancy. This is probably about 10 years old. And so I only use this for my outdoor living area. I've got a pair of Klipsch speakers that I use for outside, and I pair this receiver with an Apple TV so that I can stream music from Spotify on my phone into this unit and then back out to those speakers. Now below that, we've got a drawer that just has some media in it. So I put all my Blu-rays and all of my 4K discs down here. And then one thing I really love about this cabinet is because it was 100% custom, you can see right here, these are hand-carved dovetails. So the craftsmanship on this cabinet that was made by a friend of mine is just absolutely gorgeous. And each door of the cabinet is equipped with slow close hinges, and then you just push it to attach. Behind the next cabinet is my Panamax 5500 AC regenerator. Now this is basically a line conditioner as well as a surge protector. And then down below that I just have some miscellaneous items like my mini DSP, some earplugs, some Oro 3D discs that I still have to give away on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Got some terry cloths as well as some leather cleaner. Behind the third door is my Pioneer UDP LX500 4K player. Now this unit has been an incredible unit. It plays pretty much every kind of media and it's super smooth. So if I hit open, you can see just this really smooth disc tray. And when we hit close, just a really pristine unit. I've got a video on that, a review I did a while back, so definitely check out that video if you're interested. Then below that, we have an AC Infinity air cooler. So I have that placed on top of the Monolith 11X. The Monolith 11X has 200 watts going to my front 3 channels, and then 100 watts going to the other 8 speakers in my setup. And so I'll explain my speakers a little bit later in the video. The Monolith 11X is an incredible powerhouse of an amplifier. This thing's build quality is incredible, and it just sounds beautiful in my 7.2.4 Dolby Atmos system. The Monolith 11X amplifier has a lot of power. We've got 200 watts by 3 going to my front LCR, which is my left, my center channel, and my right, and then 100 by 8 going to all of my surrounds and my Dolby Atmos speakers, which I'll share about in just a bit. Now right to the left of the Pioneer, it might be a little hard to see, is a Logitech repeater. And so I'll show you how that's connected to the Logitech hub. And that's how I power and control all of these components that are behind my system without needing the use of IR, which is infrared. And so I'll explain that in a little bit as well. Over to the left of that is my PS4. So I use that for some gaming, Netflix, streaming, so forth. And then down here, the heart of the system is the Marantz AV7705 Pre-Pro. Now this was a significant improvement in sound quality over my previous SR8012 receiver. Now this sounds incredible. It's beautiful. About the only thing I don't like is this really small portal here. Really doesn't do much good. You don't get a chance to see much information, especially from far away. But we do have this nice door panel here that can hide that, or if you want to be able to see what is on the display and have access to some front ports, you can open up that panel. So I've got a video on that unit as well on the channel if you're interested in checking that out. Behind the next door, we just have some various cables. Over here you can see I've got some 14 gauge cable that I picked up on Amazon. I've got extra banana plugs, which I absolutely love banana plugs. I've got several videos on banana plugs. These are from Sewell. Really like these. They're nice quality and very inexpensive. So you can pick those up on Amazon. I'll have links to those in the description if you're interested in that. Down here, just a lot of various speaker cables just kind of wound up. So one thing I really have gotten to love are these little Velcro straps. This helps me keep all of my cables just really nice and tidy and organized. So if you don't have some of those for your setup, guys, I can highly recommend those. And then down on the right, we just got some leather wipes for the theater seats. And behind this door, we've got on the far left an Orbi router. Now this router was a huge upgrade from my previous router. This is what they call a mesh network. And so it really provides seamless transition when I'm walking around my house. Basically my cell phone or my tablet will grab the closest and strongest signal. So I have the main hub the main router in my home office. Then this Orbi satellite is a second unit. So that's hardwired using a LAN cable, so to make sure that we have a really strong signal here in the theater room. And then we have a second satellite in my daughter's bedroom on the other end of the house. And so this performs really well. To the right of that is the Lutron hub. The Lutron hub allows me to control my Lutron lighting through Wi-Fi. And when I pair the Lutron hub with the Harmony hub, I can actually control all of my lighting using my Harmony Elite remote. So that thing is really cool. To the right of that is just a subwoofer cable. So I've got an extra subwoofer cable here. When I'm testing gear, I can easily pull that out, connect it to a subwoofer in the room, and be able to take measurements and so forth. And then down below that is another storage unit. So in here you can see I've just got various cables. Again, I wind all of my cables up, keep them nice and tidy with these Velcro straps. So we've got just some various subwoofer cables, RCA cables. Over here, several different HDMI cables, different lengths. Down here, we've just got some power cables, and then various cables down here, like a Toslink or what they call a fiber optic, various other small cables. Got a mono to mono, and then we even have an RCA to a 3.5 millimeter. So just a lot of small cables that I keep those organized in this drawer. And behind this door here, we've got our Lutron Cassetta dimmer switches. Now each one of these dimmers controls a different zone of lighting in my room. So the first zone controls the front 4 speakers that are overhead. The second zone controls the rear 2 lights. The third zone are for the arch lights. The fourth zone is for the LED lights that are around my screen. And the fifth zone is the LED lights that are behind my screen that reveal my speakers when the lights are turned off. Now each one of these dimmers can be controlled via Wi-Fi, so I can use my phone, or I can actually tie it and integrate it into my Harmony Elite app. But I primarily use my Harmony Elite remote control to be able to control all of my lighting and create scenes. So now let's take a look at what's behind this 150-inch acoustic transparent screen. So right here at the bottom, I've got a latch that allows me to unlock the frame, and it lifts up and is supported by gas shocks. Now my front soundstage consists of 3 Klipsch La Scalas. Now this is in an LCR configuration, which is your left, your center, and a right. So we don't have a specific center channel. We're actually using a regular floor standing speaker. In my opinion, having an LCR is the absolute best sound that you can get for a home theater setup, because you've got completely seamless transition from one speaker to another when sound travels from one to another. Now these La Scalas were made in 1980, and I'm not too big on vintage stuff, but guys, these sound phenomenal. The mid-range and the top end on these are just spectacular. Vocals sound truly detailed, lots of clarity, and just sounds really natural. Now the bottom end has this is what they call a folded horn. And so there's a 15-inch driver that fires and hits the back of the cabinet and then comes out this port, basically is what this is. Super clean bass, but just not a lot of punch and not a lot of slam. And so that's where major subwoofers come into play. And so right here you can see I'm reviewing the JTR Captivator RS2 subwoofers. Now these things are beast. Now they basically have two 18-inch drivers. We're in a sealed enclosure, and then we've got a 4,000 watt amplifier powering both of these. And so this thing is a powerhouse, and I like the fact that they're sealed behind the screen because it helps prevent as much movement of my screen because we don't have these big ports blowing out tons of air. The other benefit of sealed is bass seems much tighter, it's cleaner, but it also has lots of output because of the mass area of the four 18-inch drivers. And so I'll be having a full review of these subwoofers later on in the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Typically, I have my dual PB16s. They're made by SVS, and so that's a single 15 in a ported enclosure. And so they're just out of the place. I'll show you those in a little bit, but right now we've got the dual JTR Captivator RS2s in place. Now, when I had this cabinet built by a friend of mine, I told him there were two main objectives for this. Number one, I wanted to be able to get behind my 150-inch screen easily without having to take it down, move the screen out of the way. And so he developed this system that has the gas shocks, and so that works out phenomenal. I can easily climb up in here, I can connect subwoofers, remove them, swap out speakers and so forth. But the other requirement that I really wanted was easy access behind my components, my receiver, my amplifiers and so forth, because a lot of times that's a real big pain to reach behind there, especially when you've got a 7.2.4 system. That's a lot of connections on the back of the receiver. So what I had him do is he built a railing system for this bottom cabinet, so I can easily slide this out, climb back in there. This isn't extended all the way out, but I can easily climb back in there, get directly behind the components, and be able to make whatever connections I need to make or swap out components. So we'll go ahead and close this. And now let's take a look at the rear of the room. So in the rear of the room, we'll go ahead and start with the speakers. On the side walls, I have Klipsch RS62 version 2s. In the surround backs, I have the same RS62 version 2s. Then it's going to be hard to see, but up in the ceiling, I have four Dolby Atmos Klipsch CDT 5800C version 2 speakers. The Klipsch RS62 version 2s are a wide dispersion speaker, meaning they have front firing speakers as well as rear firing. And so that sound basically wraps around you and provides a really immersive experience. Now on this wall here, behind that curtain is a double sliding glass door. It's not really ideal for a theater room, but that's the only way that I can get large speakers such as the JTR subwoofers in here for review. So we have to leave that accessible. And so what we had done was a friend of mine built a custom mount right here that attaches to the wall. And then there's a metal bar that comes down behind the speaker and allows the speaker to attach. So the speaker pretty much looks like it's floating on the wall. Now the surround back speakers are angled down towards my front listening position. Honestly, it's not really ideal for this back row because you can see I don't have much space back here, but having something is better than nothing. And so if you want the prime seats, you need to sit in the front. And speaking of theater seating, I have 6 theater seats from Valencia. Up front, we have the Valencia Tuscany theater seats. These seats have been a huge upgrade over my previous seats. They have a lot of features that I just didn't have. Super soft Napa leather. We've got LED lights below. We have cup holders in each seat, as well as controls in each cup holder for lighting, recline, lumbar support, and headrest. And inside each armrest, we have storage for things such as remote controls. And then over here, I keep all of my microphones, SPL meter, and Odyssey calibration mic. And the rear seats are the same company, Valencia, but these are the Oxford seats. Now the Oxfords are a little bit different because in the middle, we have a console that opens up and folds down. The rear seats are sitting on a custom riser that we built. So as you can see, we've got a step here. It's about 12 inches high. And so that's plenty of room so that you can easily see over the front seats. My entire home theater is controlled by the Logitech Harmony Elite remote control. So this remote has been really awesome. I really like this. Only a few little quirks about it. It is a little slow when you go through the menu. So you can see it's not quite as fast as like my iPhone, but it allows you to easily set up controls, macros, custom buttons, all that stuff via your smartphone. My 150-inch image is produced by the Epson 5040 UV projector. This has been a great projector, a big upgrade from my previous Panasonic AE8000U. It just has a beautiful picture, lots of detail and clarity. Now to produce the 150-inch image, we had to back the projector outside the room. And so right outside the room, inside this closet, you can see we had to cut a hole right there. And that is where the projector is mounted. Now, one thing that I added to my room that really made a huge difference in the clarity was the acoustic panels on the side walls. You can see I placed 3 on the left wall, and then I've got 2 on the front right wall. Because sound reflects and bounces off all your walls, once that happens, you actually lose a lot of clarity and detail in the sound. And so if you don't have some acoustic panels or acoustic treatment, I highly would recommend looking into those. These are nothing fancy. They're basically do-it-yourself acoustic panels that I bought from a neighbor for about 11 bucks a piece. And so you can build them on your own for a lot cheaper than you can buy them. But if you're not very handy, there's definitely options on the market for that. I've got a video on the acoustic panels, on kind of how they were made and what they look like. So if you're interested in that video, I'll post links down in the description below. And I have an Echo Dot that allows me to control all of my lighting. Alexa, theater lights off. Now, before I share my final thoughts on my home theater, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons. My patrons allow me to create additional content apart from what you see here on the YouTube channel that allows you just some insight into my life and who I am, as well as things that I'm working on, projects that I'm doing, gear that I'm about to review. And it also gives you an opportunity to give some suggestions and get some one-on-one communication with me in case you have questions about your setup. So if you're interested in joining me on Patreon, check out patreon.com/youthman. Now I'll have links to all of the products that I've talked about in my home theater down in the description below, as well as a lot of various videos that I've done on pretty much all of these components. I've got reviews for the theater seating, I've got reviews for the Pre-Pro, all different types of videos. So make sure you scroll down, click the little drop down menu if you're looking at it on a phone, and you'll see the links to the various videos as well as the products used in case you're interested in any of that for your home theater. Well guys, hope you have an incredible week. God bless you. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you in the next video. And all of my lighting can be controlled with the Alexa. Alexa, theater lights off.
A few things share the name lights.
You're a dork.
Which one did you want?
Wow. Way to mess that one up, Alexa.